Hi, everyone, and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and no other than Keith Sullivan. Today, we have a lot to go through, a lot of exciting things happening in the market, and not least, what are people thinking? Are we going to fall or are we going to go up? We will find out today. But before we get into this today, we want you to highlight something because the 27th, right? Is the next Thursday, Keith?
Next Thursday.
Yeah, at 6 p.m., we're going to have a Crypto Masterclass. There's going to be a free event. Please click the link right now. We have a limited amount of spaces, but it's going to be an opportunity for you to get a really good opportunity to get a really good insight in the crypto market. So that is one of the fastest growing markets on the planet, and it's time to learn. We have spoke to Keith now before we started. We're getting into NFTs, right? And what are the big metaverses? And we have some really cool announcements where big companies are getting into blockchain and cryptos. So if you haven't started yet, this is an amazing opportunity to learn from Marcus himself, who is one of the world's best at teaching, at trading and investing. So that is the 27th at 6 p.m. next Thursday. Make sure you sign up. No excuses. Very, very important. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So if we get into the stocks, right, we're going to start with the Buffaloes. How are the Buffaloes been doing? So looking at CHPT, we moved the stop loss further down. I mean, it just keeps falling. And who are we to tell it to stop? So we just keep the stop loss moving down. You might be tempted to take the profit of 3%. Are you tempted, Keith?
No, of course, right? We don't want to limit the amount of profit we want to take. We want to allow our profits to run as far as possible. So just moving down the stop loss, don't get emotional, and then just lock in as much profit as possible as we can. So this one here covers 3 losses, which I love.
That is awesome. And that being said, right, what's really important here is that you can celebrate afterwards. So emotions after, not during. Very important. So next up here is WHD. That is Cactus Inc. And it is a very spiky, this Cactus company, Keith. Is that... Okay, so we moved the stop loss to 2% here. Let's see how far it does move up. It were actually up to a 3% profit here as well. So stop loss been moved up on this one. And on Mark, this is one that I know you're in, Keith, as well. We moved the stop loss up to 2%. I am a bit tempted at it, however, to move it up just underneath this trough here, which would mean a profit of 2.3%. So what would you do here, Keith? Would you move it up as well, or what do you would do? Keep it lower?
Yeah, so in regards to the market itself and what I'm seeing, okay, with today's market being a tad bearish, I would have it a bit more closer. If it does break below that higher low, then it's a bit more of a confirmation that now this is ready to come back down to the support. So yeah, I would definitely have it there.
Well, let's make it official. Let's move it to 2.3%, and we'll do this straight after Trades of the Week as well. So we see we're in quite some good profits here, but of course we will have losses as well. EQT really went in the wrong direction, took us in and then said peekaboo, and then shoof up and took us out with a 1% loss. Very important here. Make sure you keep your stop loss and take that 1% loss, because as you would see that some of these were up 3%, we're up 2%, we're up 2% on this one as well. It really covers the losses, but make sure you let your profits run, not your losses. You want to cut them short. And then before there's not much to do with Mara, where you can actually look at this. You can get in at a better opportunity than we did. And I think this might be a good one as well if cryptos does decide to move up. And FISIV, we're also just hovering here. We're close to being stopped out, but just hovering in a slight loss at the moment. So have a look at that as well. And that being said, before we get into the 3 new ones for this week, do we have any updates? What's happening in the market, Keith?
Yeah, so in regards to the market, I sound like a broken record because it's the same news week in, week out. And I said it on last night's webinar, it's all about inflation. Now it's come out that inflation itself has hit a 41-year all-time high, which has caused an extreme amount of fear within the Federal Reserve. And there has been talks or calls to now really increase interest rates, move it forward and push interest up, okay? Because remember, what interest does is if interest increases, you see a shrinking in economy because people are more willing to save money than spend money. That naturally brings the inflation down. So if we have a quick look at the US 30 there, Dennis, for me, please. As you can see, in regards to fear and greed, it's a bit weird, right? Because the market itself is having a bit of a pullback, but yet the overall sentiment of the market is being greedy. So we are seeing that buyers are still looking to hold up the market, still looking to buy because they're deeming the prices to be cheap. But if we look at the current market, we can now see that we're in a bit of a sensitive zone. We have now seen, if we look on the weekly time frame, we've seen that the stock, the index itself has closed below the 21-day moving average for the first time that it has in a long time, okay? And this, for us, is a bit of a signal that there may be a potential bearish move. Now, can we call it a bear market? Do we call it retracement? We can't dictate that just yet. But as you can see with the with what Dennis has put on the screen, we can see that the market itself was making higher highs, and higher lows, obviously. And we are now seeing that this market is potentially looking to target the previous higher low. Now, if it starts breaking and trading below that higher low, then that is a signal that we could potentially now be seeing a longer term retracement in the market. Now, once again, if we start seeing the market become bearish, we don't get scared, we don't scream, we don't jump out the window, we don't sell all of our shares. We follow the strategies. We do the VCA, we buy the shares as they fall, remember, fundamentally strong, and we also look at shorting opportunities. So that's the first thing that we were looking at is the major indices and what's happening there. If we look at the overall economy, we are seeing that the dollar itself is weakening against the major currencies, the pounds, the euros. Okay, so that is a signal as well that the economy is not doing as good as they believe. Okay, so we might have seen now the ceiling being hit on the recovery of the economy in the US since the COVID pandemic. But yeah, so that is the news for me. Dennis, anything else to add on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Keith said, follow the strategies. But this, like Keith said, is just a first signal. We have many signals. This is the first one. The second signal will be break of structure. So if we break below the 14,400 and close below, then we would definitely look at maybe we're getting into a bear market or something similar. But this will be the first sign that we close below that. So the only thing that is important here is to be hedged. Both make sure you make money when it goes up and when it goes down, which is what we're doing with the Buffalo. But last thing here would be that even though we are below it now, we did have the same thing here, did go below. It did close above though. But then beginning of the week, we did have a slight pullback. So we did have a slight pullback here before it then rallied higher. So that could be possible as well. But nevertheless, let's make sure we are hedged. So looking at GMRE, this is, look on the daily here. We have had a bit of a retracement. And currently, we are having a doji. So that could be a bullish sign. And this could mean that we will potentially have a 3-to-1 on this as well, so that it's bouncing from the support. So we like that we have higher highs and higher lows. So hopefully that pattern will continue. This is global medical rate, so REIT, but the ticker is GMRE here. So this looks good, I think, Keith. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think in regards to GMRE, we're seeing a good structure being formed. As Dennis said, high highs, high lows. We are seeing a nice reversal candle. And as Dennis loves, it's a green candle. Ooh. If Dennis wants to buy, he must always see that green candle. So I think it's good. And the overall market for GMRE is bullish as well. So it's a good signal that this could potentially now give us 2-3% or even more. If it breaks that high, happy days for us. We just carry on moving our stop loss like we are with the other stocks.
Yeah, make sure that your profits run. Next up is NEE. This is Next Era Energy Incorporated. Same here, also moving up in a very nice Buffalo range. Only problem I see here is that we have a big red candle here. And be aware that earnings are coming up. So what I would like to see here before we go in is something like this. A nice green candle, right? We do like those nice green candles. So do make sure we wait for one of those before we enter. And hopefully that will give us a smaller candle and a bigger range that we can look at as well. But just also so we can be hedged, we're looking at Boeing. So Boeing is having a downward trend, and let's see if the economy is shrinking, less people might fly, and Boeing might be hit further as well. So we have a downward trend. We do have a nice green candle here, though, which we don't like. We want to have the reverse here. We want to have a red candle pointing down. So that's what I'm waiting for on this one as well. So let's see if we do get that today. So something like this would be ideal if we do get a red reversal candle now as well. So that being said, that is the update for stocks. And I think let's dive into the crypto space. And before we do that, comment below. Are you getting into these? Are you getting these results? Have you moved your stop loss on MRK? Let us know below, right? That is the whole reason we're doing this. So just to remind you now, before we get into the crypto, that make sure you do sign up for our masterclass on Thursday the 27th at 6 p.m. So make sure you sign up for that now, right? Don't wait. It has been appearing here probably in the description as well, to learn everything there is to know about and getting started with cryptos. That is really important. So Bitcoin not really doing much since last week. We have been testing this support level, and now it's slightly bearish, but really just moving horizontal. So it is same as with the stock market. People are waiting to see what is going to happen here. And looking at the fear and greed index, the market is very, very fearful at the moment. And we are going to be looking at some news here as well. But in terms of the positions here, there's not really that much to say, except that we've actually had news here that Solana, the Bank of America, believes that Solana might become the next Visa of cryptocurrencies. That is big news. This is one of the new blockchains, which is supposed to be amazing. And it is super fast. And it really has the potential to do great things. So being down around 47%, I think Solana is a bargain. So I think that could be great for a first entry using the CCA strategy if you're not in this. That's very, very important. And number two, I would like to just highlight Cardano as well. So Cardano was one we looked at when it was down at the support here a week ago. And from that, rallied around 30% up, which is awesome. So, and obviously this is not very objective, but Charles Hoskin, the founder and also actually co-founder of Ethereum, he announced that Cardano is just getting started. But what I found interesting was that the other day it had the second highest number of transactions on the blockchain. And they are really going for it this year. So 2022 might be Cardano's breakout year, where they're launching NFT platforms, DeFi, and actually they've actually launched the first metaverse on Cardano as well. And we might go into that. We're researching that at the moment, but we might share that with you in the coming episodes. So make sure you do stay here. Make sure you stay tuned and keep coming to these the two trades of the week to find out what's happening in the market. And then one like Harmony, some of these blockchains has been really strong. So Harmony is also building a lot this year, and it is going up today while the rest of the market is going down, which is a great sign of strength. And then we have a new entry on GRT. So with GRT, we are down around 61%. So this is awesome to get in a new time here. So we did get in at 35%. We went up quite a bit. So we were actually quite a bit in profit, almost 100%. And then it fell down 60% after that. So, I mean, that is what it is, right? So we're getting in again. GRT is a good project. But besides from that, the market has really been moving sideways and it's going down. But since we bought last time, not much have happened. We did go into Sandbox, great entry still. We did go into Gala at minus 65% here as well. So do make sure you look over your position there. This is a big metaverse. So both Sandbox, Gala, and also Mana, Decentraland, some of the biggest metaverses that could be a really big trend according to Grayscale and a lot of other sources this year as well. But for this week, we're not really adding anything new. The latest one we added was crypto.com. But with all these positions here, we think we're very well positioned for when the market really turns. So it is a waiting game. Money will move from the impatient to the patient. And I hope that you're one of the patients. Keith, anything you would like to add before we move into the VCA section?
So yeah, as Dennis said, it's the time of accumulation, the time to be patient with the crypto market. There are such great projects out there that you can invest into. For me personally, I've been looking more at the NFT section, buying, looking how to create. NFTs could be a booming section for 2022. Same with the metaverse and gaming. Now, one of the things that I was looking into yesterday is I watched an interview around the XRP SEC case, and they've basically said that discovery phase, so with the phase where they can get all the information for the case, that has been moved back another month. So what that has done is it's increased the time frame of this XRP case to be done by, it was meant to be done by June this year. Now it's not going to be done to probably September. So do we feel that XRP is going to massively grow this year? It potentially can, potentially not. We don't have a crystal ball, but with this case hanging over XRP's head, for me personally, it's still another waiting game. I still think it's a sleeping giant, and that's just me saying that. Okay, I have accumulated a bit more, but it's now just a waiting game to see actually what is going to happen with XRP this year.
Yeah, for sure. And like Keith said, it might be a sleeping giant, but in all fairness, I think it's one of the most undervalued coins, one of the biggest. But because of the SEC case, it hasn't really moved. It's really just been going down quite a bit. We had some big movements from 15 cents up to $2, but nowhere near its all-time high, which was formed back in 2017. So that being said, we think that it will easily break this if they win the SEC case and people really get excited about XRP again. So it is a high risk, high reward game. So invest smaller amounts potentially, but definitely one that we have been averaging into as well. Mm-hmm. And let's dive into some of the VCAs as well here. So we can look at one here. We moved the stop loss to 10% profit on Caterpillar. So I don't think it's time to move just yet, but we will do that in just a moment, because on IBM did actually fall down to our stop loss, took us out at a 10% profit. So that's how it is, which is awesome. So let's give that a good move, Keith. Move. There we go, right? A little bit of profit on these. We're in a lot of these now as well, but we're taking IBM off the equation now, and that's it, right? We're leaving this until it goes down 20% again. But the one we're adding for this time is Payc. This is Paycom. So Paycom is quite an interesting one, and they actually have really good income. They have really low debt, positive earnings per share, looking to grow over the next 5 years, great return on assets, great return on equity, and a good amount of institutional ownership as well. And what we do like with this is that it's actually down at a previous level of resistance, which we like to see before we enter. And this could be a scenario of it's also creating a higher low. But remember, with the VCA strategy, we're not really trying to time the market in that sense. So this is just a first entry. We're entering at 40%. Next time it's minus 50, minus 60, so on and so forth. So I think Payc looks really good. Keith, or what do you think about this? We have a lot of red candles here. Do we like that?
Well, in regards to VCA, as Dennis said, we don't really mind about the technical side of the chart. If we see red candles, what does that mean? It means we've got more entries. So it is good for us because we want to be entering at cheaper prices. But with Payc, it is fundamentally strong for me personally. I see a lot of growth, and I still feel like there is an undervalued aspect to this company. So getting into Payc at this price, seeing it, will it make a new all-time high, is what the game is for us right now. So yeah, I think it's a good investment.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So there you go. That's the update for the VCA. That's the update for the crypto and the Buffalo market as well. So once again, before we now wrap this up for this week, let's have a look at the results here. So the results are actually quite exciting, I think. So, well, I mean, everything is relative, but we're up 54% on the Buffalo. We had a 1% loss there. That's a boo. But we're locking in quite a bit of profit on there. So the coming weeks might be very exciting. VCA, we took 10% on IBM. Cryptos, we've just been averaging in now when the market is slightly bearish. But that's how it's going to be from time to time. So we really hope you enjoy the trades of the week for this week. And don't forget to sign up to the Crypto Masterclass with Marcus on Thursday next week at 6 p.m. Right, very important, the 27th, and we really look forward to seeing you there, of course. But more importantly, as well, we do look forward to seeing you next week on Trades of the Week.